welcome back to Jay's Retro Toys and Games, the home of nostalgia, history, and the stories behind the toys and games that shaped generations. Today's documentary explores one of Nintendo's most fascinating creations, R.O.B, the Robotic Operating Buddy. This mechanical companion wasn't just a quirky accessory. It was a bold experiment that helped resurrect the video game industry after its collapse in the early 80s. Through innovation, marketing genius, and a touch of futuristic charm, R.O.B became a symbol of Nintendo's creativity and a cornerstone of gaming history. And we're going to look at R.O.B and its fascinating history on today's episode number 107 of Jay's Retro Toys and Games. Welcome once again to another edition of Jay's Retro Toys and Games in Season 4. It's episode number 107 on this Saturday, March 14th, 2026. Happy Pi Day to all of you. If you know what I'm talking about, then you'll understand it. If not, well, Pi Day, as you know, is the symbol pi, is what they used to teach us in math classes back in the days. Pi was 3.14159. Which was basically the circumference of a circle, or they used it to measure the circumference. But the other kind of pie that we're talking about could be cherry pie, pumpkin pie, apple pie, chocolate pie, some kind of casserole pie, meat pie, whatever pie you want, pizza pie for that matter, however you want to celebrate it. But we're celebrating something very interesting today on Jay's Retro Toys and Games, and that is one of the things that saved the great crash of the gaming industry of 1983. Well, supposedly it was the job that it was supposed to do was to help. But we'll see what happens as we talk about this very interesting contraption called R.O.B the Robot. So, let's go back to the video game crash of 1983. The early 1980s were a time of chaos for the gaming industry. Oversaturation of consoles, poor quality games, and consumer fatigue led to the infamous video game crash of 1983. Major companies like Atari suffered massive losses, and retailers began to view video games as a passing fad. Store shelves were filled with unsold cartridges, and the public's trust in gaming had all but vanished. When Nintendo planned to bring its family computer, the Famicom, to North America, it faced an uphill battle. The company needed a way to convince retailers and consumers that its system was different, that it wasn't just another console doomed to fail. Nintendo's leadership, including Hiroshi Yamauchi and Minoru Arakawa, realized that the key to success lay in rebranding. Instead of marketing the NES as a video game console, they would present it as an entertainment system. This subtle shift in language was crucial. To reinforce the idea, Nintendo decided to include a toy-like peripheral that would make the system appear more like a futuristic plaything than a traditional gaming device. The result was R.O.B, or R.O.B, a robot designed to capture imaginations and open doors to skeptical retailers. R.O.B was developed by Nintendo's Research and Development 3 division under the direction of Masayuki Uemura, the same engineer who designed the NES hardware. The concept was to create a robot that could physically interact with the console, bridging the gap between digital and physical play. Released in Japan in July of 1985 as part of the Family Computer Robot set, and later that year in North America as part of the NES Deluxe set, R.O.B immediately stood out. Its sleek design, blinking eyes, and mechanical movements gave it a personality that appealed to both children and adults. R.O.B was a marvel of 1980s engineering. Standing about 9 inches tall, it featured motorized arms, a rotating base, and light sensors that acted as its eyes. These sensors detected flashes from the television screen, allowing R.O.B to interpret commands from the NES. The robot was powered by 4 AA batteries and connected to the console through the second controller port. When the NES displayed specific light patterns, R.O.B responded by moving, lifting, or rotating objects. Though slow and limited in motion, the concept of a robot responding to on-screen cues was revolutionary for its time. R.O.B was compatible with only 2 official games, Gyromite and Stack Up. In Gyromite, players controlled Professor Hector, who relied on R.O.B to manipulate spinning gyros that pressed buttons on a second controller, opening and closing gates to clear obstacles. The gameplay required coordination between human and robot, creating a unique cooperative experience. Stack Up took the concept further by introducing physical colored discs and platforms. The player instructed R.O.B to move the discs according to on-screen commands, turning the living room into a miniature robotic laboratory. While both games showcased R.O.B's potential, their slow pace and mechanical limitations prevented the robot from achieving mainstream success. Nintendo's decision to include R.O.B in the NES Deluxe set was a masterstroke. The set came with the console, 2 controllers, the Zapper light gun, and R.O.B himself. This package allowed Nintendo to market the NES as a complete entertainment experience rather than just a gaming console. Retailers who had sworn off video games were suddenly willing to stock the NES because it looked like a toy. R.O.B became the face of Nintendo's marketing campaign, appearing in commercials, print ads, and store displays. His presence gave the NES a futuristic, family-friendly image that appealed to parents and children alike. And even though R.O.B's practical use was short-lived, his image became iconic. He appeared in early NES advertisements, television spots, and promotional materials, often portrayed as a friendly robotic companion. And over time, R.O.B evolved from a peripheral into a pop culture symbol. He made cameo appearances in later Nintendo games such as Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart DS, and WarioWare. These appearances reintroduced R.O.B to new generations of gamers, transforming him from a forgotten relic into a beloved mascot of Nintendo's early years. Despite its charm, R.O.B faced several technical challenges. The robot's reliance on optical signals meant that gameplay could be disrupted by lighting conditions or screen glare. Its movements were slow, and the process of setting up the games was cumbersome. Many players found the novelty wore off quickly, and R.O.B was soon relegated to a shelf as a collectible rather than an active gaming accessory. However, these limitations also highlight the experimental nature of Nintendo's design philosophy, a willingness to take risks and explore new forms of interaction. By 1986, Nintendo had shifted its focus to developing more traditional games and accessories. The success of titles like Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda proved that the NES could thrive without relying on gimmicks. R.O.B quietly faded from store shelves, discontinued after a brief but impactful run, yet his purpose had already been fulfilled. He had helped Nintendo reestablish trust in the gaming market and paved the way for the company's dominance in the years to come. R.O.B's influence extends beyond his short lifespan. He represents a pivotal moment in gaming history, a time when creativity and innovation saved an industry from collapse. His design inspired future experiments in interactive technology, from motion controls to augmented reality. Collectors now regard R.O.B as one of the most valuable and nostalgic pieces of Nintendo history. His continued presence in modern games ensures that his legacy endures, reminding players of the era when a little robot helped change the world. Today, original R.O.B units are highly sought after by collectors. Complete sets with all accessories, including gyros, platforms, and original packaging, can fetch high prices on the retro gaming market. And beyond monetary value, owning a R.O.B represents a connection to a defining moment in gaming history. For many enthusiasts, displaying R.O.B is a tribute to Nintendo's spirit of innovation and the rebirth of home gaming. R.O.B the Robot remains one of the most fascinating creations in the history of video games, and though his time in the spotlight was brief, his impact was monumental, and he helped Nintendo reestablish trust in a broken industry, introduced a generation to the possibilities of interactive technology, and became a lasting symbol of creativity and perseverance. In the grand story of gaming, R.O.B stands as a reminder that even the most unconventional ideas can change the course of history. From his blinking eyes to his whirring arms, R.O.B embodied the spirit of innovation that continues to define Nintendo to this day. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the legends of classic gaming right here on Jay's Retro Toys and Games. See you the next time for more NES accessories and our continued look as we delve into more great, interesting stuff. Bye for now.